Good afternoon, everyone. For today, our topic is letter writing. When we say letter writing, here we mean business letters. Letter writing, now you may more consider it as letter typing. You type out a letter and sign it. But letters are still inevitable parts of any company or any organization. So why do we write letters? What's the purpose? When we speak, our words vanish in thin air. When they are written, they become more concrete. We cannot refer back to the words that we speak, but we can always refer back to the words that we write. So letters also are a part of a documentation of any company or any organization for future reference. In the future, if you have to refer back to something, you can always refer back to a letter. A letter is actually a written message conveyed from one person to another through a medium. Why am I saying a medium over here and not using any specific word? By medium, I can say that certain organizations still practice handwritten letters, others practice type letters. There are a few who would just send an attachment in the email. Others would always take a printout and draft a post and drop it in a post, right? So that's why the use of the word medium and not specifying any one. Right? Whether you want to have a handwritten, typed an attachment to the email, or a typed and printout and sent via post letter, would always depend on the type of organization or the organizational rules and regulations that the organization follows. That's why the word medium over here. Now please note down, this is a very important question, keeping in mind examination. The question that can be asked is, discuss the 7 C's of letter writing. Discuss the 7 C's of letter writing. These are the 7 C's of letter writing. Wherever you are making a note of things, please note down. This is a very important question, keeping in mind the examination. So the 7 C's, if you see each word or each adjective starts with the letter C, that's why it's been titled as the 7 C's of a good letter. So what is the first C? First C means that the letter should be clear. The letter should be clear. Clarity in terms of what do you want to say? What are you actually saying? Next, C means concise. The letter should be concise. It means you cannot overburden the letter with unnecessary information. You should not overburden the letter with unnecessary information. Only and only information that is necessary should be there in a letter. Next, the letter should be concrete. Now, please remember that when you are writing letters, every letter would have its own kind of vocabulary, or its own set of vocabulary, to be more precise. So what do I mean by this set of vocabulary? Let's say I am writing a congratulatory letter to congratulate someone who has made an achievement. So when I'm writing a congratulatory letter, there would be a certain words which are associated with congratulating somebody. So we appreciate the hard work that you have done. Hard work really pays off, etc. These are few of the words that would be always present in any congratulatory letter that is written. Now let's take an example of somebody writing a condolence letter. Would we be able to use the same bunch of words and phrases? Obviously, no. You cannot say your hard work has paid off when you are writing a condolence letter. You're actually trying to help the person. You are trying to empathize with the person that you have made, your life has got a great loss. may God give you the strength to bear through this difficult times, etc. These are the words you use when you are writing a condolence letter. So when I say that the letter should be concrete, I mean to say correct words used with, or correct words used in correct type of a letter. That is, if it is a congratulatory letter, you will have a typical congratulation tone. You will be saying, oh, hard work has paid you off and you have done great, etc. If it is a condolence letter, we'll be writing the same thing, but we'll write that may God give you the strength to bear through this tough times. So use the exact phrases and words according to the nature of the letter. I appreciate your creative art, but this is not a creative arts class. It is a communication skills class. Next, correctness. When I say that the letter should be correct, I mean to say not only correct in terms of the structure, but correct throughout. By throughout correctness, we mean to say the spellings should be correct, the grammar should be correct, and even the punctuation mark should be correctly made. The letter is actually an impression that you create on somebody without meeting the person. So that is why correctness in all forms is a must in letter writing or any kind of business document, to say so. I have specially mentioned here spelling mistakes. I know most of us don't make spelling mistakes intentionally, but unknowingly, due to using different social media, we have been accustomed to some of the spellings in those ways, the ways which we use in the media. So that's why a special mention of words such as correctness in spelling has been mentioned here. Next, it should be coherent. By coherent, we mean it should relate, it should make sense to the type of letter that you are writing. Complete. Letters should be complete. So after reading the letter, there should not be a confusion. What is he actually trying to say? Or what is she actually asking? Complete in that sense. Next, and the last one, the letter should be courteous. Even if you are writing a complaint letter, you are angry about something, there's a way of saying it. Right? So you have to use that way of saying. Why? Because even if you are angry, you are not supposed to, when people do business, they are not supposed to just do it for one time. Businesses are meant for long duration. They are supposed to sustain for longer duration of time. So how do you sustain it? You sustain the business by being courteous about things. Being courteous does not mean that you don't talk about the problems you are facing, but there is always a way of talking about it. So how do you talk about the problems that you are facing, yet you don't spoil the business relationship that you have? Right? That's the way you do or you write letters. And these are the 7 C's of letter writing. Now, whenever it is a documentation of this kind of a nature, by this kind of a nature, I mean when it's a business documentation, the purpose should be clear. Why? The why part. Why are you writing the letter? Are you writing the letter to inquire about something? Are you writing the letter to uh, order something? Are you writing a letter to complain about something? So why are you writing the letter should be clear. So why do we write letters? What is the purpose of letter writing? I've listed a few of the purposes of letter writing. A few purposes of letter writing are as listed. 1. To inquire about things. 2. To request, to make a request about something. 3. To complain, if you have complaints happening. 4. To congratulate people. 5. To collect, to actually confirm your order, not collect the order, confirm the order. Collect dues, when you have to pay something and it's been remaining for a longer duration of time, you'll get a reminder through a letter. To make an adjustment, that is when you have your products in guarantee or warranty period and you wish to make changes. Next, to apply for a job, when you apply for the job, it is called a cover letter. And when you wish to inform people about something, when you inform, right? One of the kinds of letters where you inform is, I suppose some of your friends might have got those letters. When you have low attendance, the university writes the letter to inform to your parents or to your guardians, right? So that is one of the kinds of letters where you need to inform, or the purpose of writing the letter is informing. So which of the C's is not a part of the 7 C's? See here, when I say coordination, I mean the coordination in the words that you have used. Here when I say coordination, it means within the letter, not amongst people. Okay? It means within the letter. Is the letter well coordinated? So completeness, coordination, consideration, and copy notation. You can type your answer in the chat box. Excellent, quick answers and correct answers. The answer is option number D, copy notation. It is not the part of the 7 C's. It is actually the part of a letter, but it's not a part of the 7 C's. Now let's see the elements of a business letter. We have been writing letters since we were in school. We have been writing letters since we were in school, right? So how is those letters that we have written in school different from the one that we are going to write here, or the one which we are going to term as business letters? So the structure would differ a little. I remember in school we used to write certain things in the letter on the right hand side, certain things on the left hand side. I'm not saying those things were incorrect. Those things were widely accepted in during those times. Now there has been a little change in the format. So there are a few elements which are the standard elements, and then you'll have a few elements which are additional elements of letter writing. When I say additional elements of letter writing, what I mean to tell you is that these elements would come into use as and when required. As and when required means they are used only in special cases. Right? So let's see the things, the layout. Now, where would you write? On which side of the page would you write the letter? Is what we are going to discuss. The layout that we are supposed to follow is called the block layout. Now, if it is the block layout, everything should be aligned to the left. Now, if you have confusion in left and right, let me make it a little more simple for you. It means you should align everything towards the side of the margin. Whatever side the margin of the book is, you align it that side. That's the left. Okay? All the elements, whatever address, salutation, subject line, date, whatever you write should be to the left of the page. Remember, in the letter, the very first address that you write is the address of the sender. Now, the address of the sender can be written in two ways. The first way is writing through the company letterhead or writing as the individual sender. Now, here's a little change or a little information that you should not miss. According to that information, if you are using the company letterhead, if you are using the company letterhead to draft the letter, only the company letterhead would come in the center. The alignment of the company letterhead would be in the center. Except the company letterhead, nothing else should come in the center. Now, what do you include in a company letterhead? Obviously, first the name of the company. Now, here you can see I have taken the example of the university. If you can see, I have taken the example of the university. So I have written the name of the university. That's the name of the company. Next, you have to write the address. Next, you have to write the address. By address, we mean over here, we need to write the full address. That is the address, the city, and do not forget the PIN code. Now, please remember, we are not trying to test whether you know the PIN code of various places in India. What we are here trying to test is, do you know the format? Now remember, a PIN code is a 6-digit number. So whether you make up a PIN code, that is, you don't use the original PIN code and you assume that this is the PIN code, okay, because I want to write this PIN code for my letter. I cannot remember every PIN code of every city of India or every country. I cannot remember that. How will I remember? You are not even expected to remember, but you are supposed to remember the structure of the PIN code. Now, what is the structure? You take any PIN code, whether it is of Gujarat state or any other state. In India, the PIN code is a 6-digit number. So here you can write any number. Because I know the university's number, PIN code, I have written it. Had I not known it, I would have written any 6-digit number. Right? So what you can do is you can write any 6-digit number of your choice. Then you will write the company's tagline. Then you're supposed to write the company's tagline. For us, the tagline is, knowledge is the currency of the 21st century, or for the 21st century. Many companies would be writing, serving you since 1993, established since 1995, whatever. Whatever it is, you are supposed to mention it over here. Now, apart from that, you are supposed to mention the contact details. Supposed to mention the contact details. What are the contact details? One, you have to mention the phone number. Two,
yeah,
you have to mention the email, and three, you have to mention the website. Most of the companies would have their own websites, and that is why we need to mention it over here. Now, please take care, even if you are making up information, that the information that is given to you is a made up information. Make sure that the company name, the email name, and the website name matches. People are not going to check the validity of the website or the email or the phone number, but it should match. And for example, if it's a mobile phone number, 10 digits. If it's a landline number, 8 digits. In case you are writing a landline number, you have to mention the area code. Then the area code is of 4 digits or 3 digits. Whatever it is, you have to mention the digits properly. That's what is expected over here. Right? If you are writing the heading as a individual sender, so you write the person's name, the person's designation, the address of the place where the person is working, Again, do not forget the name of the city and the PIN number, which is really important. Why am I pressing on remembering the structure better? Because in letter writing, from the exam point of view, you will get a few marks. Approximately 50% marks are allocated for proper structure. That's fine. Now, if you see here, I have not got any punctuation marks, and here I have got punctuation marks. Both of them are correct. See, there is neither a comma or a full stop over here. Here you can see there are commas and full stops everywhere. So both the methods of writing the address are correct, but do not mix the two, which means if you are writing punctuations, you have punctuation marks everywhere from the comma to the full stop. And if you do not write punctuations, there should not be any punctuation anywhere. That is neither the comma nor the full stop. Do not have only one comma somewhere in between the address. Follow the structure properly. The second thing that you need to write is the date. When you write the date, remember in business documents and technical documents, you do not use only digits. You are supposed to write the full date, that is the date, the month, the year. There are two ways of writing it, that is the British way and the American way. The Britishers follow the DD, MM, YY, that is date, month, year, and the Americans follow month, date, year, MM, DD, YY. Right? That's the reason why we write full dates and we don't write dates in digits. Again, here you can see punctuations and no punctuations. If you are punctuating, that is if you put a comma, you have to put a visible full stop. If you are not putting up a comma, there is no need for full stop. All the four ways of writing the dates are correct. You have to write the date in any one way of your convenience. Right? All the four are correct. Next, the receiver's address. There are two ways again to write the receiver's address. If you know the person's name, designation, and the name of the organization and the address of the organization. Now, there are certain designations in companies which keep on changing. The designation does not change, but the person changes on that designation. Let's say the example of a bank manager. They have transferable jobs, and we do not, or we cannot keep a track of who is transferred when and who is the new manager. So in that case, what we do is we address, or we write the address of the receiver by keeping the designation. For example, the general manager, Lion Industries Limited, 3A East Patel Nagar, Mansarovar, Mumbai, and the 6-digit PIN code. Next is the subject line. Now see, the subject line, it is not a sentence. Remember, it's a subject line. So it should fit into one line only, one line of your notebook. Subject line is actually a easy way for the reader to understand, or the receiver of the letter to understand the purpose of the letter. It should not be more than 3 to 5 words, 7 words maximum, not more. If you see, I have given a few examples which you can follow. That is inquiry for 25 computers, 35 computers, order for furniture, permission for leave, etc. Then you have the salutation. We have been writing respected sir and madam, but the more formal kind of a salutation would be dear sir or dear madam. Here, punctuation is a must. You cannot ignore the punctuation. So after dear sir or dear madam, you have to give a comma. Please do not write dear sir oblique dear madam, because in the question you would already have to assume whether the person's gender is masculine or feminine. So I use either of it. Or in case you are given a person's name, what you can do is you can write dear Mr. Tapan Patel, comma. But the comma should be there. The punctuation in salutation is a must. Whether you punctuate the address or not, it is fine, but you have to punctuate the salutation. Then this is the main crux, or the entire major part of the information would come here. That is the content of the letter. A minimum of 2 paragraphs and a maximum of 3. If you want to have a simplified idea, not more than 2 A4 size pages. That is 2 pages of your book, not more than that. Why I'm saying 2 pages? Not the content, the entire letter. The address, the date, the address of the sender, the date, the receiver's address, the subject line and everything. Not more than 2 pages is what is required. So you'll have a minimum of 2 paragraphs, a maximum of 3, not more than that. And when you write the last paragraph, you are supposed to complete the information. You cannot introduce any new information in the last paragraph. Next, the way you have salutation, you will have complimentary close. The way you have salutation, you will have complimentary close. So here you can write yours faithfully. Again, remember, just like the salutation part, in the complimentary close also, you have to have the comma, the punctuation. So you can either write yours faithfully, comma, or you can also write faithfully yours, comma. The answer would be correct. These are a few examples which you can use. There are many more which you can explore. Signature. When you sign a paper, it becomes more authentic. When you sign a paper, it becomes more authentic. So a letter is incomplete without signature. The signature gives authenticity to the letter. That is why you should always sign the letter before you post it or send it via email. After you sign it, you see there is a signature which is there. After you sign it, you also have to mention the name of the sender and the entire portion where you write the designation and the address. Please remember, you are not supposed to use your signature, bank signature anywhere in the examination. You can make up a signature, but make sure you have a signature which looks similar to the name. Right? If the name is starting from J, the signature starting somewhere from J. If the name is starting from any other letter, either there is a letter of the name or the surname in the signature. That is what you can do. Next, enclosure. Enclosure is something that you attach with the mail. Let's say I have a complaint. You have to attach a copy of the bill. So after you sign, what you have to write? You have to write enclosure. You have to write enclosure, and then you have to enclose what, or you have to write what you have enclosed. So reference letter, bill, order, etc. So which one of the following is not the standard element of a letter? Not the standard element of a letter: date, salutation, postscript, complimentary close. You can type your answer in the chat box. Excellent work, Priyanka. Very fast and absolutely correct. So the answer is option C, postscript. Postscript is actually the additional element in a letter. It's not the standard element. So every letter would not have a postscript, but in few cases or special cases, you will have postscript written in a letter. So what are these additional elements? Let's have a look at these additional elements. First is called the address notation. First is called the address notation. It is written below the space in the inside address. It is actually for written in all capitals and trying to inform about a special part of the letter. Let's say sometimes we have letters that are confidential. We'll write confidential letter. Thank you for the artistic work, students. I'll again remind you, it is an effective technical communication class and not an art class. Next, a reference line. Now, when you are writing letters referring to a backdated letter means you had placed an order and the product that you got is not good, etc. So instead of the subject line, you have a reference line with reference to order number this, on the date this, right? So it will, uh, the subject line would be replaced by the line of reference. Next, reference initials. Reference initials are used where the company is known by the initial throughout the world. Let's say a special example, if you take a yellow colored M, wherever it is written, we would understand it to be McDonald's. There is no other company that comes to your mind. In those cases, you write this. Copy notation. Copy notation is similar to the CC or the carbon copy that we make that we have in email writing. It is usually written when you send the copy of the same letter to two different people. That is, let's say a letter has been sent to you as well as your parent. That's where you can mention this copy notation. Then you have a mailing notation. Mailing notation means when you have a printout and you are sending the mail, sending the letter by a mail. So by which medium are you sending? Are you sending a courier, a speed post, or a registered post? You have an experience of this. You might be receiving things via mail. Then the postscript, it is actually the last thing on the letter. It actually emphasizes the message that it wants to send. Let's say you have this opening offers or offers in certain companies and brands. You can always see towards the end of the offer, they will write the offer is valid till 31st August only. Right? So this is where postscript comes into action. You do not write the whole word postscript, you write PS and then the note that you want to highlight or emphasize. The acronym for postscript is PS. So which one of the following is not an additional element of the letter writing? Good work, Priyanka. Your answer is correct. Option number 4, date line. Why? Date line is actually in the standard format. Even if you are not writing special emails, a date is always mentioned. So it is actually a standard element and not an element of additional element or special case and event. So that is why date line is the correct answer over here. So do we have any questions? Now, let me make a few things clear. When you are asked exams, when you refer to the question paper of 2019, November 2019, usually when you are asked to write a letter, they will be giving you a question and you have to draft the letter. You're not supposed to write the theory part, but you have to write these things practically whenever it is asked. Remember, this syllabus was introduced last year only, and that is why we have only one question paper to refer to. Right? So you can have a look at that question paper. It has already been uploaded in the e-content part. On our portal, in the e-content, you can see question paper, university paper. So do we have any questions for today for this topic? What I'm asking is a yes and no question. Do we have any queries, questions, doubts? Excellent. No doubts. Fine. Thank you for answering. So then we'll go to our quiz. Right? So as we do it every time, in every lecture, we have a quiz. So I'll give you the link of the quiz in a minute. So I have posted the link of the quiz in the chat box. What you can do is you can start attempting your quiz now. Excellent. I can see everybody has completed the quiz. Before we take the attendance, a few instructions to be given. You are supposed to write a letter. You can have a look at the question that has been asked in the paper 2019. Everybody has to draft a letter and send it to my email ID. I am drafting my email ID in the chat box. So kindly note it down somewhere. That's my email ID. We're supposed to draft a letter. The question that was asked in the university exam 2019, the question paper is already uploaded. You can have a look at the question from there. So the question that is asked has been asked for writing a letter. You are supposed to draft a letter in response to that question. You have to answer the question and send me the email on my email ID, that is pooja.shukla, POOJ.SHUKLA @marwadieducation.edu.in. You are supposed to draft a letter and mail me the letter by the 3rd of August.
Ma'am, drop your email to the chat box.
You don't have to drop an email to the chat box. My email ID is there. You have to just a minute. Let me see. I have. That's my email address, and the deadline is the 3rd of August 2020. And that's my email address. That you can note it somewhere. And by the 3rd of August, you are supposed to complete this work and send me a draft of it on my email. When you write an email, please write your name, your class, and your enrollment number, right? So that it's easier for me to decipher who is who. Right? So I'll be taking the attendance now. In case you still have a doubt in letter writing, you can always drop a message or an email on the same email address. I'll try to address your query over there. So let's take the attendance. 18 series, enrollment number 14.
Yes, ma'am.
19 series, enrollment number 1, 2,
Yes, ma'am.
3,
Yes, ma'am.
4,
Yes, ma'am.
5,
Yes.
6,
Present.
7, 8,
Yes.
9, 10,
Yes, ma'am.
11, 12,
Yes, ma'am.
13, 14,
Yes, ma'am.
15,
Yes, ma'am.
16,
Present.
17,
Yes, ma'am.
18,
Yes, ma'am.
19, 21,
Yes.
22,
21.
Yes, ma'am.
23.
Yes, ma'am.
I'll call out the absent numbers. Absent numbers are 1, is enrollment number 5 present? So the absent numbers are 1, 5, 7, 9, 11. These are the absent numbers for today. Right, so please do not forget to draft the email. You can check the question paper on the e-content on the university's login portal. You'll find the question paper there. Draft an email according to the question that is provided in the question paper, and drop an email to my email address by the 3rd of August. Do we have any doubts? Fine, I seem there is no doubt. Thank you, class. Have a nice day.